A wave of new leaks is quietly reshaping everything we thought we knew about Samsung's next flagship lineup. Details are emerging piece by piece, but when you connect them, a much bigger story unfolds. One that hints at a lineup built not just to upgrade specs, but to redefine expectations in 2026. And trust me, the surprises only get more intense the deeper we go. Welcome back, viewers. Sam here. Like, share, and subscribe for more! Samsung's S26 family is building momentum in a way we haven't seen in years, and what's fascinating is how Samsung seems to be aiming for refinement instead of chaotic redesigns. It feels like they finally realized that the real magic isn't always in reinventing the shape of the phone, but in perfecting the experience inside it. And with the S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra, all signs point to Samsung creating one of its most balanced lineups yet. The first big spark is the display overhaul. Samsung's new M14 OLED materials are rumored to hit all three models. Yes, even the base S26. That alone shifts the entire lineup into premium territory, because Samsung has historically reserved its best panels for the top-tier device. Now, the standard model isn't just catching up, it's stepping into flagship territory with brightness that makes outdoor visibility feel effortless. But the twist, despite these upgraded materials, early reports suggest brightness might hover around familiar numbers, a surprise nobody expected. So the real question becomes, what is Samsung hiding behind this consistency? And here's where things turn interesting. Even if brightness doesn't spike dramatically, power efficiency does. The S26 Ultra's rumored adaptive refresh that dips down to near 0 Hz isn't just about smoothness. It's about squeezing extra hours of life from each charge. Samsung isn't waving flashy numbers this year. Instead, they're pulling off the engineering equivalent of a silent flex. Performance also takes a unique direction. The Ultra is expected to run Snapdragon's 8 Elite Gen 5 globally, a chip built with AI acceleration baked into its core. This isn't just about raw speed. It's about offloading tasks intelligently so the phone stays cool even when pushed to the edge. Meanwhile, the S26 and S26 Plus will split between Snapdragon and Exynos depending on the market, but early whispers say the new Exynos 2600 isn't the underdog anymore. In AI-heavy tasks, some claim it may even surpass expectations. That alone could change the narrative Samsung has struggled with for years. But nothing sparks excitement like camera upgrades, and this year Samsung seems ready to flex. The Ultra keeps its 200-megapixel sensor, no surprise there. But the real upgrade is the wider f1.4 aperture. That small shift creates a big leap in how the camera handles night scenes, contrast, and depth. Low-light photos don't just look brighter, they feel more lifelike, cleaner, and richer in shadow detail. And then there's the new 50-megapixel ultrawide sensor, turning what used to be the secondary lens into a powerhouse of detail. Even the telephoto stack gets reshaped. A cleaner mid-range zoom, a boosted periscope, an improved stabilization hint at Samsung aiming to dominate photography at every distance. Not just at 100 zoom bragging rights. But that's only half the story. Because leaks suggest the whole camera pipeline is boosted by faster LPDDR4X RAM capable of pushing over 10 GB diars. That's not just faster memory, it's what allows the phone to capture multiple frames, render HDR, and stabilize video in real time with almost zero delay. The S25 Ultra already felt fast. This is another level entirely. The Plus model steps into an intriguing spot. It isn't trying to overshadow the Ultra, but instead aims at the user who wants practically everything without needing an S Pen or a massive footprint. With a QHD display, nearly identical brightness, and nearly 5,000 mAh of battery, the S26 Plus feels like the quiet star. The model that doesn't shout but consistently impresses. And because it skips extras like a large stylus silo, it ironically becomes even more efficient. And then there's the base S26. For the first time, Samsung is bringing 12 GB RAM as standard, and that single decision pushes the compact flagship into a whole new category. No more cutting corners for the small model. The camera system mirrors the Plus version, the display uses the same premium materials, and the battery, despite the slimmer frame, stays strong enough to last through heavy use. It almost feels like Samsung is daring users to reconsider whether they even need the more expensive models. Design-wise, Samsung appears to be refining rather than reinventing. A lighter titanium frame for the Ultra, slimmer dimensions across all models, and flatter sides that look modern but still feel secure in the hand. Even the larger punch hole on the Ultra, which raised eyebrows initially, ends up making sense when you learn it unlocks a wider 85-degree field of view. Better group selfies, better framing, better everything. But the biggest plot twist so far, the growing evidence that the Ultra might finally break Samsung's long-standing battery ceiling. Whispers of a 5200 mAh pack have circulated for months, and combined with improved efficiency and cooling, this could be the Ultra's most impactful upgrade. Samsung has danced around battery increases for years. This might be the year they finally step forward. However, not every rumor paints a perfect picture. Display brightness may not increase. RAM upgrades may still be locked behind region-specific configurations. And some tipsters believe Samsung is still too cautious with certain features compared to competitors who are pushing far more aggressive specs. But that tension is exactly what makes the S26 series so fascinating. Samsung seems ready to evolve, but not recklessly. Meanwhile, leaked dummy units of the S26 Ultra matching the rumored dimensions are giving us our closest look yet. Larger camera modules, refined edges, and a design that feels bold without being loud. They look like the kind of prototypes that Samsung locks in shortly before mass production, which hints that the final design might already be decided. And just as the leaks promised a quiet season, another twist surfaced. A proposed concept calling for Samsung to rename the Plus model as the Pro. It sounds wild at first, but when you compare the rumored specs, the idea starts to make sense. Bigger battery, stronger charging, a more even camera system, and pricing that fits perfectly into Samsung's tiered structure. If Samsung ever wanted to reorganize the lineup, this would be the year to do it. Across the board, all signs suggest Samsung is aiming for a lineup that balances power, refinement, and long-term value. The Ultra still leads the charge, but the Plus and base models are getting dangerously close in capability. And that's a good thing for users. Instead of pushing people toward the Ultra, Samsung might finally be letting them choose based on preference rather than sacrifices. And that's where the excitement really kicks in. The S26 series isn't just shaping up to be another annual refresh. It's beginning to feel like Samsung's first major step into its next era of flagships, where efficiency, AI, and real-world usability matter more than loud specifications. If the leaks hold true, 2026 might be the year Samsung finds its sweet spot. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because we're just getting started. See you in the next one!